The Nintendo Switch has games. Yes, the Switch has a lot of games, so many in fact, that this console generation is probably going to be known as one of the best in terms of its first-party exclusives, remakes, remasters, ports. I can't imagine as a Nintendo fan wanting anything more than what the Switch has already provided you. And man, in light of the Nintendo Switch 2 and the amazing games I'm sure that console is going to have, it's got me reflecting a little bit on the current console generation that we have, the very end of the Nintendo Switch's life. So what I'm going to do today is go through all of those Switch games in my head, one by one, and name off my top 10 Nintendo Switch games for this console generation. And here are the ground rules, okay? So what we're going to do, to make this a little bit easier on me because there are so many amazing games, we're not going to count any remakes, any ports, any remasters. It's only going to be unique first-party Switch games. I am also not going to be talking about any games that have not released yet, obviously. It is September 17th at the time of this recording, which means that The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is not out yet, and that would typically be one of the games that I would probably put on this list, but it's not out, haven't played it. Brothership, Mario and Luigi Brothership coming out later this year, also have not played that, but we're not going to count those, obviously, because they have not come out yet, so we're going to deal with what is exclusively Switch up to this point. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the madness. I have seen so many of y'all this past couple of weeks joining the channel, and it has been amazing, so please like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's content. At number 10, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses, which, man, in 2019, July 26th, that game released to critical acclaim across the board. Everybody loves Fire Emblem Three Houses, and it is one of the most unique games in the series, and I think that's why it's the best-selling game in the series by about 1 million copies. And so it sold 4.1 million copies in 2019, and to this day, I think this is the most unique way of storytelling I have ever seen a video game convey. You play as a character named Byleth, and you are the son or daughter of a mercenary, and he goes back to a monastery after there's an attack on 3 young promising students who just so happen to be 3 leaders in their own respective countries. And you end up having to decide between the 3 on which house you're going to end up being in. And this is a massive decision because whichever house you end up choosing is the house that you will be seeing the story's perspective from throughout the entire rest of the game. And so what happens is, during the first part of the game, you're friends with everybody and everyone's at the monastery learning together. Then a big moment happens in the story, and there's a time skip to about 5 years later, and you see the chaos that ensues with all of these different houses, and you end up having to fight against them. So the characters that you spent hours and hours and hours getting to know in the monastery before this time skip, you end up having to fight against. The turn-based strategy is almost just as good as the amazing story to be told in this game, and I recommend anyone and everyone to pick up the game. The only thing that this game lacks in is graphical power, because man, this game can look ugly at times. I mean, I'm telling you, it just does not look good. But if you are somehow able to overlook this graphical issue, you will find a game with a story so rich and so deep that will cut to your very core, and a gameplay system worth sticking it out for. At number 9, I have Splatoon 3, and whoa, did this game and this series come out of absolutely freaking nowhere, because on the Wii U back in 2015, the first Splatoon game released and blew everyone's minds, and so many people bought that game on the Wii U, a very bad console and just a dying fan base in general. They all went out and bought this game, and it led to a franchise that has just totally gone off the rails in terms of sales numbers for Nintendo. But I'm telling you what, everyone said from game to game that they didn't really look different from the predecessor. A lot of people complained about Splatoon 3 being a thing because it looked too similar to Splatoon 2, and a lot of people couldn't even tell that Splatoon 2 looked any different than Splatoon. But let me tell you right now, these games are different and have gotten so much better with each new installment. You will never find a third-person shooter game like this one. The game does not encourage you to shoot other people, but to shoot the ground around you to win turf wars. And by winning turf wars, you will end up getting better and better at the game to where you can get into ranked matches where all of these different objectives surround the map. And the game will never say, try to take other people down with your skill, even though that is a big part of it, and it will help you win by getting all these other people eliminated, but the objective is always going to be different than just shooting people. The story mode is not the best, but the DLC has a lot of different things to help make up for that, including the side order DLC. Holy moly, this roguelike experience is incredible, but that's not a part of the main game, so I'll refrain from talking about it for now. You can customize your Inkling in ways you've never been able to do before. Salmon Run is as fun and deep as it has ever been. There's a new table turf card battle system that so many people have gotten incredibly invested in. There have been a lot of increase of card games lately. The game modes are incredibly fun, and there are more weapon varieties than ever to choose from, making every single match unique and different because of all the different people that you're playing with. All the different matchups that you can possibly desire or think of having are here for you to play. Everything is balanced out, and it's truly a unique experience that Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 1 does not offer. Now, at number 8, we have Pikmin 4, and I am so excited to talk about Pikmin on this channel. I have not had a good excuse to talk about it yet, and here we are. Pikmin 4 is one of the best games on the Switch. In fact, the 8th best game on Switch, according to myself. Pikmin 4 is the best-selling game in the series for good reason. It has so much to offer to players who have never even touched the game series before, and the gameplay is really simple and easy to understand in this particular game. The addictive gameplay loop encourages you to get as many of the pieces of treasure that you can see around you, while also fighting or avoiding the enemies that are all around you. And let me tell you, the amount of enemy types there are in this game is staggering. The cave systems that you can go through endlessly and fight off all these enemies are just... It's staggering how much content is in this game once the main story concludes. And of course, who could forget about Ochi, who adds an entirely new layer of depth to the Pikmin series as a whole. You can climb on the back of Ochi to traverse these different lands and upgrade his abilities to help fight enemies or just pick up treasures around you. It was a welcome addition to the series, and I hope it doesn't take another decade to get the next installment. This next game might be a little bit low for some of y'all, but I have Animal Crossing New Horizons at number 7. Some have questioned if it's even the best game in the series, but this game is so cozy and comfortable. If you turn it on and you play it for hours and hours, you will get lost in this world, trying to get all of these different fruits, cutting down trees, building houses, and yes, paying off your debt that Tom Nook has put you in. You can customize your entire island the exact way that you want it to an immense amount of detail. Truly, this is one of the only Animal Crossing games that you can make every corner exactly what you want it to be. I wasn't a massive fan of how they had kept adding content after the fact instead of just putting it all in on day one, but it is undeniable that now that this game has so many different updates attached to it, that if you bought it today and played it all today, just throughout the year, because of the time clock system that is so unique to this game, you will find new things to do every single day, and that burnout won't hit for a very, very long time. I played over 100 hours in this game easily when COVID hit, as it was a great getaway from the entire world at that point. But yes, the burnout did hit me pretty strong, and I haven't played it since. So yeah, 7 might be a little bit low for some of y'all, but this game is still worth buying. It is still one of the best games the Switch has to offer, and I am so incredibly proud that Nintendo put this game out when they did instead of just rushing it into 2019. That was the initial release window for this game, was 2019, but they said no, we're not going to crunch our developers, we're going to give them more time, and they were rewarded with releasing this game pretty much exactly when COVID hit the fan, and man, did so many people appreciate having this game to fall on. It was such a worldwide phenomenon. So many people loved Animal Crossing New Horizons, and it will always have a special place in my heart. Number 6, we have Luigi's Mansion 3, and I am so excited to get a chance to talk about this game particularly on my channel for the first freaking time. I talked about Luigi's Mansion 2's price and whether or not the game was worth it, but I never got a chance to really dive into Luigi's Mansion 3 as a whole. And let me tell you, this game, it is gorgeous. It's the best looking game on Switch by far. A lot of people will say Metroid Prime Remaster looks the best, but I just totally disagree. That game looks amazing, yes, but this game, man, I just don't think you can top it. It is so amazing, and the gameplay loop is as addictive as it has ever been. You will go from floor to floor of this massive hotel, sucking up money, sucking up ghosts, trying to catch all of these different toads in the paintings, and saving Mario at the end. King Boo is terrifying and looks as good as he ever has. This game is phenomenal. They have always designed these Luigi Mansion games around the fact that Luigi can't jump and it's not platforming. So in this game, they give him more options than ever with the Poltergeist. As usual, you can use the suction ability and blow out air through the end of your Poltergeist, but also you have an ability to charge up your meter and press A to suck him in even quicker, and you have a push ability, which is like all of this air comes out of the back of the Poltergeist and allows Luigi to jump up just a little bit. You don't have a lot of mobility with it, but it is a good way to just get everybody off you if you have a lot of ghosts around you. Similarly to Luigi's Mansion 2, there is a meter in which if you charge it up after holding onto a ghost long enough, you can press the A button. In that game, pressing the A button would just simply pull in the ghosts even more and drain down their numbers. But instead, now Luigi has the ability to slam ghosts into objects and other ghosts around him to take down their health points. And the last new ability is the plunger ability, which means that you can just throw out a plunger from the end of your suction vac and boom, it just attaches to a ghost or onto an object to where you can pull it back. It has so many different uses for puzzles and combat as a whole. The portrait ghosts are back in their own unique way, and the floor system is unlike Luigi's Mansion 2 multiple mansion system, which most people did not like. So they basically brought the game back to where it was supposed to be, and they added different ways to keep you invested in the gameplay. This gorgeous game pushes the Switch to its absolute graphical limit, and I recommend every single one of y'all go get it if you haven't already. At number 5, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and man, was this game a breath of fresh air from the 2D Mario franchise. They finally changed up the graphical look from the new Super Mario Bros. Series that they have been using for pretty much over 10 years, and oh my goodness, this game looks so much better than what it had before. There's so much creativity, so much charm, so much new. You will go into every single level wondering what the heck is going to happen next because of the Wonder Flower, which messes up the entire level as a whole. You'll find singing piranha plants as you have to maneuver your way through different pipes. The world will turn upside down and you have to manage walking downwards. You'll turn into different objects like a bowling ball or a spike, and you have to go through all these levels as that object. No longer is it just Mario running through different boring, ordinary lands and trying to get to the flagpole. No, instead, you are here to experience every level, not just to get to the end. You can play as so many different characters in this game, and they added a badge system which changes the way your character plays. You can float, you can double jump, you can wall jump off of different things, you can have a grappling hook. So many unique badges that add to the gameplay variety, and so many different levels will play off of these themes. The new Super Mario Bros. Series is dead, and thank goodness it is, because 2D Mario is back in tip-top shape. Next at number 4, we have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and holy crap, is this a lot of content to work through. The whole theme is everyone is here. Every single Smash Bros. Character from every single game is here, plus way more, including the DLC. It will take you over a year at best to even come close to mastering all of these different movesets. The stages are incredible. There are over 100 of them. The music, oh my gosh, there is over 1,000 tracks of music in this game. And the fighting, holy moly, this game perfected the Smash Bros. Formula with increasing the movement speed. Not as much as Melee, which a lot of people have been disappointed about, but it is just fast enough to where the game feels so smooth, and it looks even better than any of the games before it. If there was any downside to this game, it would be that the online can be pretty spotty depending on your internet connection, but man, is it not even a big deal, because World of Light single player mode is massive, and you could play that forever and unlock all of the characters through that, and not even have to worry about playing in multiplayer mode. Or you could use the Spirits mode, which is a different way of fighting up and leveling up your characters, and just increases your movement speed, it increases your character size, you have different effects that come off of it. The item system is crazy. The bosses in each level, it's so much. It is the ultimate Smash Bros. Experience. At number 3, we ironically have Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and I can hear it now. All y'all in the comments are bashing me for putting this at number 3, but I do not care, because this game changed me, man. The story is beautiful. It continues and wraps up Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 so well. The characters are lovable. The combat system is refined to its peak. You could play this game every single day, probably for a year, and not find every corner of content that this game has to offer. There are an insane amount of plot twists. There are an insane amount of characters that you are going to be incredibly invested in because you just can't help but care about all of these lovable characters that just want to live one more day, that want to live for this moment. And that choice is being stripped from them, and they're doing their best to fight against it in a world where the system works against them. Please get into the Xenoblade Chronicles series. It is worth your time, it is worth the money, and worth the effort that it will take, because this is one of those unique games where I cannot tell you that it is a game. It is a experience to be had. Do not miss out on this amazing experience. At number 2, we have Super Mario Odyssey, and yes, 7 years later, this game holds up to the test of time. It is one of the best, if not the best, 3D platformers of all time, and it is the best Mario game I have personally ever played. Capture ability perfectly plays into the nostalgia of those who have loved the series for such a long time, and to newcomers, it is a unique gameplay experience to where you're constantly shifting from Mario to an enemy to the different types of traversal methods or attack methods that you need to progress the story and progress into getting these different moons. Of course, Mario is just there to get Peach, and Bowser's causing a ruckus, but this game, it's different, man. It's not just Bowser taking Peach and oh, whatever. It starts off with a bang, and you start in this weird black world where it's colorless, and you're just wondering, why is this Mario game starting off like this? It shows you the mechanics, it gives you Cappy, and you can use all of the different ways of jumping off of him and capturing other people and hitting open boxes, and they give you a little boss fight to kind of get used to all of this, and then boom! Fossil Falls comes with a different color, and it's green grass, and it's beautiful orchestral music, and it just is like, wow, this game, man. Nintendo is so good at feeling like you're having fun, feeling the movement of every single game that you play. And in this game particularly, Mario feels amazing to play as. The triple jump, the cap jump, the somersault, the backflip, and new to this game, you can roll all over the place. It is so fun to just play as Mario. You could put him in any environment that you wanted and just have a blast running around with him. The music in this game is phenomenal. The locations are all unique, and the townspeople, the NPCs, are so incredibly diverse. You are never going to have a dull moment playing this game, and you're never going to lose that joyous feeling of collecting another moon. It has been far too long since this game released, and we need a new 3D Mario stat. But for now, Super Mario Odyssey is at number 2. Before we get to the incredibly obvious number 1, I would like to mention a lot of different games that didn't quite make the list because there are so many amazing first-party Nintendo games on the Switch. So first is Metroid Dread. It is such a crazy 2D platformer. It's terrifying. The Emmy system is so much fun. Then you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I just had to debate between 2 and 3. I love them pretty much equally, but I went with 3 because of the combat system, and obviously this game is just overall better than 2 in terms of story and just starting out better. Super Mario Maker 2 absolutely perfects the system that Super Mario Maker 1 created on the Wii U. It is such a great installment, and trust me, New Super Mario Bros. Died so that Super Mario Maker could run. Age of Calamity. It was so good to see this world, see these characters once again, waiting for Tears of the Kingdom, waiting for the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And yes, the gameplay is incredibly repetitive, which is why it didn't quite make the list. But Age of Calamity, I just wanted to shout it out right here amongst these other games. Lastly, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's not on the list because I don't like it. It's not on the list because I have not gotten a chance to play it. It is so weird to me that I never got a chance to play this game because I had time when it came out, but I just didn't care for whatever reason. So I need to play it. I need to go back and pick it up, but I know it is a really good game. Everybody just is glowing about it, so I'm putting it here just so you're aware of it, but not on this list because I just haven't played it. Lastly, at number 1, we have Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, I'm cheating. I'm putting both at number 1, and you can't stop me because this is my channel. Breath of the Wild is just one of those games that you can't quite explain through words. It is a game you have to experience for yourself. This open world is massive. You are encouraged to go anywhere, do whatever you want, and a beautiful, heart-touching story is there for you if you so wish to watch it. It is heartbreaking to know that all of these years that you have been sleeping, resting, healing, that Zelda has been fighting and waiting for you to awaken. Your friends, the champions, were all slaughtered in their individual beasts, and you have to go and avenge them and release their souls to peace. And Breath of the Wild, for a 2017 game that released on the Nintendo Switch, how in the world can you take this game wherever you want? How? How is it possible that I can play this game in my hands anywhere I want? It is a massive world with so many things to do. It makes you question why the heck other games and other developers can't even get close to this level. No one has ever gotten close to Breath of the Wild. It is the greatest game of all time in my opinion. And yes, it is at number 1 on this list, but you're probably wondering why I also have Tears of the Kingdom on here when I haven't said a word about it yet. That's because everyone's still trying to figure out where Tears of the Kingdom fits into this landscape, and myself included, because when I played it, I loved it, and then the farther away I got from it, I just didn't feel as fond towards it as I did towards Breath of the Wild. And so right now, I'm actually replaying Tears of the Kingdom. I'm almost done with it, and I have a lot of opinions on it, and I might make a new video just touching on Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm putting it also at number 1 because Breath of the Wild's system is pretty much the exact same as Tears of the Kingdom, except Tears of the Kingdom has more. The abilities are essentially just upgraded abilities from the first game. You can use magnesis in the first game on only metal objects, and in this game you can just pick anything up and stick it together. So it's different in that sense, but also it just doesn't feel the same as Breath of the Wild, and I'm trying to figure out what that difference actually is before I decide how to rank it. But still, come on, y'all. If Tears of the Kingdom had come out in 2017, we would have gushed over it just as much as we did Breath of the Wild, without question. And maybe, just maybe, it is better than Breath of the Wild. So I put it at number 1 because of how unique the system is, how amazing the gameplay is, and just Zelda, man. This new era of Zelda is so beautiful. Hey there, guess what? You've made it to the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. This last week has been absolutely phenomenal for this channel, and I hope to only keep going up from here, but that's only thanks to you. So I just want to say, hey, I appreciate you so freaking much. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Look out for the shorts and community posts I do throughout the week. And look forward to my video coming out next week because I do one every single week. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk. I have been Ray, and I will see y'all in the next video. Have a great day.